I stood in my daughter's dining room, staring at the plastic badge pinned to my chest. The words were printed in bold red letters. Limited guest. My hands were shaking. Not from age, not from my blood pressure. From pure rage. "Mama, it's just a joke," my son Terrence said, laughing like this was the funniest thing in the world. "We're doing assigned seating tonight. You know, keeping things organized." My daughter Brianna smiled that cold smile I'd seen her practice in the mirror since she was 16, the one she used when she wanted something. "You'll sit in the living room, Mama. We'll bring you a plate later. The dining room is for the people who contributed to the meal." I looked around the room. My son-in-law Devin, my daughter-in-law Chantal, their friends I'd never met. All wearing badges that said VIP guest in gold letters. All sitting at the table I'd been told was set to celebrate my 72nd birthday. There was no cake, no decorations, no birthday cards, just 20 people eating fried chicken and macaroni and cheese. My recipes, the ones I'd taught Brianna when she was 10 years old. While I stood there like a fool with my limited guest badge. My granddaughter Zara, only 14, touched my arm. "Grandma, this isn't right." "Zara, go to your room," Brianna snapped. "This is adult business." That's when I knew. This wasn't about a birthday dinner. This was something else entirely. Before we continue, please comment below as I'd love to hear your thoughts and subscribe to the channel to help us hit that big 1,000 subscriber milestone. Let me tell you how I got here. Let me tell you about the woman they thought they knew. My name is Evelyn Ruth Montgomery. I was born in 1953 in South Carolina, the youngest of 6 children. My mama cleaned houses. My daddy worked at the mill until it closed down when I was 12. We didn't have much, but we had love. We had Sunday dinners after church. We had neighbors who looked out for each other. When I was 19, I married Leonard Montgomery. He was handsome, hard-working, and he loved me something fierce. We moved to Atlanta, where he got a job at the post office. I worked as a secretary at a law firm downtown. We saved every penny we could. Brianna came first, in 1982, then Terrence in 1985. I stopped working to raise them. Leonard wanted me home with the babies, and back then that's what we did. I cooked, I cleaned, I went to every PTA meeting, every school play, every basketball game. I was the mama who made sure my children had everything they needed. But here's what nobody knew. Here's my secret. When the children were in school, I started doing bookkeeping for small businesses in the neighborhood. Mrs. Washington's beauty shop, Mr. Collins's barbecue restaurant, the little corner store run by the Kim family, cash jobs here and there, nothing big. But I saved every dollar in an account Leonard didn't know about. I wasn't trying to hide money from my husband. I was preparing. My own mama had told me, "Baby girl, always have something put away, just in case. You never know when you might need it." And Lord, was she right. Leonard died in 2001. Heart attack. He was only 53 years old. The life insurance paid off the house and covered the funeral. But there wasn't much left. Brianna was in college. Terrence was in high school. I went back to work full-time, this time doing bookkeeping for a whole network of small businesses. I was good with numbers. Real good. I could see patterns, find savings, help people grow their money. Word spread in the community. Soon I was managing books for 10 businesses, then 20. I worked from home, charged fair rates, and built a reputation. And I saved. Every single month, I put money away in that secret account. I invested in index funds, like Mr. Harrison from the bank taught me. Nothing fancy, nothing risky, just steady, patient growth over 23 years. By the time I retired last year, I had accumulated $1.7 million. Nobody knew. Not Brianna, not Terrence. Not a soul except my accountant, Mr. Perry, who'd been doing my taxes since 1995. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't I tell my children? Why did I keep it secret? Because I knew them. I raised them. And somewhere along the way, despite everything I taught them about kindness and gratitude and working hard, they became something I didn't recognize. It started small. Brianna asking to borrow money that never got paid back. Terrence expecting me to co-sign for cars he couldn't afford. Both of them complaining that I lived in a house too big for one person while they struggled with their mortgages. Never mind that I'd helped pay for Brianna's wedding, that I'd given Terrence $20,000 for his business that failed, that I babysat Zara every day for 5 years so Brianna could build her career. The more I gave, the more they expected. The more they expected, the less they appreciated. So I kept my secret, and I watched, and I waited. 3 months ago, things changed. Terrence started coming by the house more often, asking questions about my finances, suggesting I was getting too old to manage my own affairs. Brianna joined in, talking about how I should simplify my life and maybe think about residential communities for active seniors. They meant nursing homes. They were too cowardly to say it directly. Last month, Terrence brought Devin over. Devin's a lawyer, real estate law, contracts, that sort of thing. They sat me down and talked about something called a power of attorney. They said it would make things easier if something happened to me. They said it was just a formality. I played dumb, asked simple questions, acted confused, let them think I didn't understand. But I understood perfectly. I'd been around lawyers for 40 years. I knew exactly what they were trying to do. Then came the dinner invitation. "Mama, come early," Brianna said on the phone. "We're going to celebrate with you. Your birthday, your life, everything you've done for us." I should have known better. But part of me, that foolish, hopeful part, wanted to believe my children still loved me. So I drove to Brianna's house in my 15-year-old Camry, the one they always criticized. "Mama, you need a new car. That thing is ancient. What if it breaks down?" They never offered to help me buy one, of course, just complained. I wore my church dress, the nice blue one I saved for special occasions. I brought a peach cobbler I'd made that morning, even though my arthritis was acting up, and I walked into that dining room expecting love. Instead, I got humiliation. After they pinned that badge on me and sent me to the living room, I sat on the couch, alone, listening to them laugh and talk like I wasn't there, like I was already dead. Zara snuck out and sat with me. "Grandma, I don't understand. Why are they being so mean?" "Baby, sometimes people forget where they came from," I said softly. "But you're their mother. You raised them. You—" "Zara!" Brianna's voice cut through the air. "I told you to go to your room. Now!" Zara looked at me with tears in her eyes. She was a good girl. Smart, kind. Everything her mother used to be before greed ate her heart. "Go on, sweet pea," I told her. "It's okay." She left, and I sat there, alone, for another hour. Finally, Brianna came into the living room. Terrence and Devin followed. They looked serious, excited even. "Mama, we need to talk," Brianna said, sitting across from me. Terrence sat on one side, Devin on the other, boxing me in. "We've been thinking," Terrence said. "You're getting older. The house is too much for you. All those stairs, that big yard. We want you to be safe," Brianna added. "Comfortable." "We found a wonderful facility," Devin said, pulling out a brochure. "Sunset Gardens Senior Living. Beautiful place. They have activities, nurses on staff, 24 hours, everything you could need." I looked at the brochure. It was a nursing home, not even a nice one. I'd heard about Sunset Gardens from Sister Patricia at church. Her aunt had been there. Understaffed, neglectful. The kind of place where people go to be forgotten. "We can't afford to keep checking on you all the time," Terrence said. "We have our own lives, Mama. Our own responsibilities." "If you sold the house, you'd have plenty of money for the facility," Brianna said. "And, well, any extra could help us out too. You know Terrence's business is struggling, And Devin and I are trying to save for Zara's college. There it was. The truth, naked and ugly. They wanted my house. They wanted whatever money they thought I had, and they wanted me out of the way. "We've prepared the paperwork," Devin said, pulling out a folder. "We just need you to sign here, here, and here. This gives Brianna and Terrence power of attorney. This authorizes the sale of your house. And this enrolls you at Sunset Gardens. They have an opening next week." Next week. They'd already chosen the nursing home, already prepared the papers, already planned my entire future without asking me. I looked at my children. Really looked at them. Brianna wore a diamond necklace I'd never seen before. Expensive. Terrence had a new watch. Gold, heavy, probably cost more than I spent on groceries in 6 months. They didn't need my money. They wanted it. "What if I say no?" I asked quietly. Brianna's smile disappeared. "Mama, don't be difficult. We're trying to help you." "What if I say no?" I repeated. Terrence leaned forward. "Then we'll have to get the courts involved. Devin says we can petition for guardianship. Show that you're not capable of managing your own affairs anymore." "You'd lose everything anyway," Devin added. "This way, at least, you have some control." Some control. They were offering me crumbs from my own table. I looked down at the papers in my lap, at the pen Devin held out to me, and I felt something shift inside me. Something cold and hard and absolute. "I need to think about it," I said. "Mama," Brianna started. "I said I need to think about it," I repeated, standing up. "I'm going home now." "You can't just," Terrence began. "I'm going home," I said firmly. "Thank you for the dinner invitation, even though I never got to eat." I walked out of that house with my head high and my limited guest badge still pinned to my chest. I got in my old Camry and drove home through streets I'd known for 40 years. And when I walked into my house, the one Leonard and I bought together, the one I'd raised my children in, I didn't cry. I made a phone call. "Mr. Perry," I said when my accountant answered, "I need to move some money around, and I need to do it fast." "Mrs. Montgomery, it's almost 9 o'clock at night. Is everything okay?" "No," I said. "But it's about to be. How fast can you get me access to my accounts? I need to protect my assets." "Are you in danger?" I thought about Terrence's cold eyes, Brianna's fake smile, the nursing home brochure. "Yes," I said. "I believe I am." "I can have everything secured by tomorrow morning," Mr. Perry said. "I'll call my lawyer friend, Patricia Okonkwo. She specializes in elder law. She can help protect you." "Thank you," I whispered. I hung up and sat in my kitchen. The same kitchen where I'd taught Brianna to make biscuits, where Terrence had done his homework at the table, where Leonard and I had shared coffee every morning for 22 years. My phone buzzed. A text from Brianna. "Mama, we need those papers signed by Friday. Don't make this harder than it has to be." Friday. 3 days away. I looked around my home. At the pictures on the walls, the quilts my mother had made, the china cabinet full of dishes I'd collected over decades. They thought I was weak. They thought I was ignorant. They thought I was just an old woman who couldn't fight back. They had no idea who they were dealing with. I opened my laptop and started making a list. Banks, lawyers, documents, evidence. If they wanted a war, I'd give them one. But first, I needed to protect Zara, because I saw how she looked at me tonight. She knew what they were doing was wrong, and I couldn't let them corrupt her the way they'd been corrupted. Another text came through, this time from Terrence. "Mom, this is for your own good. Trust us." I deleted it without responding. Then I texted Sister Patricia from church. "I need help. Can we meet tomorrow?" Her response came immediately. "Of course, baby, what's wrong?" I started typing out everything, but then I stopped. Some things needed to be said face to face. "I'll tell you tomorrow," I typed. "It's about my children." "Oh, Lord. I'll bring Minister Williams. You might need spiritual guidance, too. I smiled for the first time that night. Sister Patricia was 78 years old and didn't take nonsense from anyone. If I was building an army, she was the perfect soldier. I went to bed that night not knowing what would happen. But I knew one thing for certain. My children had made a terrible mistake. They'd backed me into a corner. They'd humiliated me. They'd tried to steal everything I'd worked for. And now they were about to learn that this old woman they thought they could push around had teeth. Sharp ones. Sister Patricia showed up at my door the next morning with Minister Williams, a casserole, and a look that said she was ready for battle. "Baby, tell us everything," she said, setting that casserole on my counter like she was moving in. So I did. I told them about the badge, the nursing home papers, the power of attorney, the way my own children had treated me like garbage in my own granddaughter's presence. Minister Williams shook his head. "The devil is busy, Sister Evelyn, but God is busier." "I don't need prayers right now, Minister," I said. "I need strategy." Sister Patricia laughed. "That's my girl. Now what do you have that they don't know about?" I took a deep breath. $1.7 million. The room went silent. "Come again?" Sister Patricia said. "I've been saving and investing for 40 years. Nobody knows." Not Brianna, not Terrence, nobody except my accountant. Minister Williams whistled. "Sister Evelyn, you've been holding out on the congregation. We could have built a whole new wing." "And I might," I said. "But first, I need to protect it from my own children." Sister Patricia grabbed my hand. "What do you need?" "Witnesses, documentation, and someone to help me get Zara out of that house before this gets ugly." "Consider it done," she said. That afternoon, Mr. Perry and attorney Patricia Okonkwo came to my house. Ms. Okonkwo was a tall, sharp-dressed Nigerian woman with kind eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. "Mrs. Montgomery," she said, "your accountant explained the situation. First, we need to secure your assets immediately. Then we need to document everything your children have done, every text, every conversation, every attempt to coerce you." "They want me to sign papers by Friday," I said. "You won't be signing anything," Ms. Okonkwo said firmly. "By Friday, you'll have a restraining order if necessary. Now, let's get to work." We spent 3 hours going through everything. She recorded my statement, copied the nursing home brochure, photographed the limited guest badge I'd kept. Mr. Perry transferred my money into protected trusts and accounts my children couldn't touch, even if they somehow got power of attorney. "We're also going to file a preemptive declaration of competency," Ms. Okonkwo said. "I'll arrange for a doctor to evaluate you. When they try to claim you're mentally unfit, we'll have evidence that you're sharper than most people half your age." Wednesday morning, Brianna called. "Mama, we need to talk. Can we come over?" "I'm not signing anything, Brianna." Her voice turned cold. "Mama, we're trying to help you. Why are you being so stubborn?" "Because I raised you better than this," I said. "I taught you about respect and family and gratitude. And you repaid me by trying to steal my home and throw me away like trash." "That's not—" "Mama, you're being dramatic. We just want what's best for you." "No," I said quietly. "You want what's best for you. There's a difference." I hung up. 10 minutes later, Terrence called, then Devin, then Brianna again, all saying the same thing. "You're making a mistake. You're too old to understand. We're going to have to take legal action." Let them try. Thursday afternoon, Sister Patricia brought Zara to my house. "She called me crying," Sister Patricia explained. "Said her mama was planning something bad for you." Zara ran into my arms. "Grandma, I heard them talking. They said if you don't sign the papers, they're going to get a judge to declare you incompetent. Mom said, 'That old woman doesn't know what's good for her anymore.'" I held my granddaughter tight. "Baby, I need you to be brave. Can you do that?" She nodded. "I'm going to fight this. but it might get ugly. Your mama and your uncle might say things about me, mean things. I need you to remember who I really am. I know who you are, Grandma. You're the strongest person I know. That made me cry. Finally. After everything, those words broke through. Can I stay here? Zara asked. I don't want to be there when whatever's going to happen happens. I looked at Sister Patricia. She nodded. I already talked to Brianna. Told her Zara was helping me with a church event for a few days. She barely listened, too busy with her schemes. Friday morning arrived. The deadline. My phone started ringing at 8 a.m. I didn't answer. At 10 o'clock, my doorbell rang. I looked through the window. Brianna, Terrence, Devin, and Chantal. All of them, coming to pressure me together. I opened the door but didn't invite them in. Mama, we need those papers signed, Terrence said. We've been patient, but this is getting ridiculous. I'm not signing anything, I said calmly. Brianna pushed past me into the house. Mama, stop acting like a child. We know what's best for you. They all came in, standing in my living room like they owned it, like they had any right. Where are the papers Devin prepared? Brianna demanded. I threw them away. Devin's face turned red. Mrs. Montgomery, you're making this very difficult. We're trying to avoid court, but if you force our hand, then go to court, I said. I'll see you there. You can't afford a lawyer, Terrence said. You're living on Social Security. You drive a car from 2010. You barely have anything. I smiled. Is that what you think? Something in my voice made them pause. Mama, what are you talking about? Brianna asked slowly. You think you know everything about me, I said. You think I'm just a poor old woman you can manipulate and control. You think I'm weak and ignorant and helpless. We never said that, Chantal started. You didn't have to say it, I interrupted. You showed me. That badge at dinner? That was the clearest message I've ever received from my own children. It was a joke, Terrence insisted. It wasn't funny, I said. But you know what is funny? You spent your whole lives waiting for me to die so you could inherit whatever scraps I had left. You couldn't even wait. You got greedy, you got impatient, and you got sloppy. What are you talking about? Brianna demanded. I pulled out my phone and called Miss Okonkwo. They're here, all of them. I'm 5 minutes away, she said. I put the phone down. I have a lawyer, a good one, and she's bringing some documents I think you'll find very interesting. Devin's eyes narrowed. What kind of documents? The kind that show I'm perfectly competent. The kind that show you've been trying to coerce me. The kind that detail every attempt you've made to steal my assets. Your assets? Terrence laughed. What assets? This house is probably worth $200,000. You don't have anything else. The doorbell rang. I opened it. Ms. Okonkwo walked in with Mr. Perry and 2 other people I didn't recognize. Good morning, Ms. Okonkwo said pleasantly. I'm attorney Patricia Okonkwo, representing Mrs. Evelyn Montgomery. These are Dr. Rachel Chen, who evaluated Mrs. Montgomery yesterday and found her to be in excellent mental health, and Detective Marcus Wright from the Elder Abuse Unit. The room went silent. Elder abuse? Brianna whispered. Financial exploitation of a senior, Detective Wright said. It's a serious crime in Georgia. Can carry up to 20 years in prison. Devin stepped forward. Now wait a minute. We haven't done anything illegal. We were just trying to help. By forcing her to sign over power of attorney? Ms. Okonkwo said, holding up papers. By threatening to have her declared incompetent? By planning to institutionalize her against her will? That's called coercion and financial exploitation. You can't prove any of that, Terrence said, but his voice shook. Ms. Okonkwo pulled out her phone. Mrs. Montgomery, is this your voice? She played a recording, my voice, clear and steady, recounting everything. The badge, the nursing home, the pressure, the threats. Then she played text messages, Brianna's demanding messages, Terrence's threats, Devin's legal intimidation. We have everything documented, Ms. Okonkwo said. Every attempt, every threat, every manipulation. Brianna looked at me with something like fear. Mama, you recorded us? I protected myself, I said, something I should have done a long time ago. But why? Chantal asked. We're family. Family doesn't treat each other like this, I said. Family doesn't humiliate, doesn't steal, doesn't throw away the people who raised them. We weren't trying to steal, Terrence insisted. We just thought, you thought I was weak, I finished. You thought I was stupid. You thought I had nothing worth taking except this house and whatever pennies I'd saved. I looked at Mr. Perry. He handed me a folder. This is my net worth statement, I said, opening it. Prepared by my accountant. Current as of this morning. I handed it to Brianna. She looked at the number. Her face went white. This can't be real. $1.7 million, I said. Saved and invested over 40 years. While you were spending money on designer bags and fancy vacations, I was building security. While you were complaining about your mortgages, I was making smart investments. While you were plotting to steal my house, I was protecting everything I'd worked for. Terrence grabbed the paper from Brianna. His hands shook. You've had this money the whole time, and you never told us? Why would I asked. So you could try to take it sooner? We're your children, Brianna shouted. You owed us. I owed you nothing, I said, my voice sharp as glass. I gave you life. I raised you. I fed you. I clothed you. I paid for your education. I helped with your weddings and your businesses and your problems. I gave you everything I had. And the one thing I kept for myself, you tried to steal. That money should be ours, Terrence said. We're your family. When I die, you'll get whatever I decide to leave you, I said, which right now is nothing. You can't do that, Devon said. We'll contest the will, You'll lose, Ms. Okonkwo said. Mrs. Montgomery has been evaluated by 3 separate doctors. She's mentally sound. She has the right to distribute her assets however she chooses. And given your behavior, I'd say she's making an excellent choice. What about me? Chantal said quietly. I never did anything to you, Mrs. Montgomery. I barely even spoke at that dinner. You sat there, I said. You watched them humiliate me. You said nothing. You did nothing. Silence is agreement, Chantal. You're just as guilty. Detective Wright stepped forward. Mrs. Montgomery has chosen not to press charges at this time, but I want to be very clear. If any of you contact her again without her permission, if you come to this house, if you make any attempt to access her finances or property, you will be arrested immediately. Do you understand? Nobody spoke. I said, do you understand? Detective Wright repeated. Yes, they mumbled, one by one. Good. Now get out of this house. They filed out slowly. Brianna turned at the door. Mama, please. We can fix this. We're sorry. No, you're not, I said. You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry the money's protected. You're sorry I'm not the helpless old woman you thought I was. But you're not sorry for what you did to me. That's not fair, she whispered. Life isn't fair, Brianna. I taught you that when you were 8 years old. You should have remembered. She left. They all did. And the house went quiet. Ms. Okonkwo put her hand on my shoulder. You did good, Mrs. Montgomery. That took strength. I'm tired, I said. So tired. Then rest, she said. You're safe now. Your money's protected. Your home is yours. They can't touch you anymore. After everyone left, Zara came downstairs. She'd been hiding in the guest room during everything. Grandma, you're rich? She said, eyes wide. I laughed, actually laughed. I'm comfortable, baby. There's a difference. Are you really not leaving them anything? I sat down heavily on the couch. I don't know yet. Right now I'm hurt, angry, betrayed. But they're still my children. Maybe someday, if they really change, if they really understand what they did, maybe I'll forgive them. But that's a long way off. What about me? Zara asked quietly. I pulled her close. You, my sweet pea, are getting a full ride to any college you want. And when you graduate, you're getting a trust fund to start your life right. Because you're the one person in this family who still has a heart. She started crying. I love you, Grandma. I love you too, baby. That Sunday, I went to church. The whole congregation knew something had happened. Word travels fast in the community. After service, people came up to me, hugging me, telling me they were proud, sharing their own stories of family betrayal. My daughter tried to take my house too, Mrs. Johnson said. Said I should move in with her. Found out later she was planning to rent it out and keep the money. My son stole my credit cards, Mr. Davis added. Ran up $20,000 in debt. Took me years to recover. I realized I wasn't alone. This wasn't just my story. It was happening everywhere. Children forgetting what their parents sacrificed. Families breaking apart over money and greed. Minister Williams called me up front. Sister Evelyn has something to share, he announced. I walked to the microphone, looked out at all those faces. People I'd known for decades. People who'd celebrated with me and mourned with me and prayed with me. I want to thank you all, I said, for your love and support. I went through something hard this week. Something painful. My own children tried to take everything from me, tried to put me away, tried to erase me like I didn't matter. People nodded. Some wiped tears. But I learned something, I continued. I learned that family isn't just blood. It's who shows up when you need them. It's who stands beside you when everyone else walks away. Sister Patricia, Minister Williams, Attorney Okonkwo, all of you. You're my real family. The church erupted in amens and hallelujahs. I also learned that it's never too late to stand up for yourself, I said. I'm 72 years old. I could have given up, could have signed those papers, could have let them put me away. But I didn't. And I want every person in here to know, you're never too old to fight for your dignity. You're never too weak to demand respect. You're never too powerless to reclaim your life. The congregation stood up, clapping and crying. And one more thing, I said. I'm donating $100,000 to this church for a new community center, a place where seniors can come for activities, legal advice, financial counseling, a place where nobody gets forgotten or thrown away. Minister Williams had to sit down. Sister Patricia was openly weeping. After church, I took Zara out for ice cream. Just the two of us. What are you going to do now? Grandma? She asked. Live, I said simply. I'm going to travel, see places I've never seen, do things I've always wanted to do. I spent my whole life taking care of other people. Now I'm going to take care of myself. Can I come with you sometimes? Baby, you can come with me all the time. 3 months passed. Brianna and Terrence tried reaching out a few times. Texts saying, "We need to talk," or "Please give us another chance." I didn't respond. Some wounds need time to heal. Maybe someday. Maybe not. But I wasn't dwelling on it. I was too busy living. I went to Paris with Sister Patricia. We ate croissants and visited museums and laughed like teenagers. I bought a new car, nothing fancy, just a reliable Honda that made me smile. I started a scholarship fund for Black students going into business and finance. And every Sunday, I had dinner with Zara, teaching her about money, about investing, about protecting herself, about being strong. Grandma, she said one evening, when I grow up, I want to be like you. Strong-willed and slightly petty, I joked. No, she said seriously. Powerful, but quietly powerful. The kind of powerful people underestimate until it's too late. I smiled. Then you're already on your way, baby. You're already on your way. I still live in my house. The one Leonard and I bought together. The one I raised my children in. The one they tried to take from me. But now it's truly mine. Not because I have the deed. I always had that. But because I reclaimed it. I defended it. I proved that I was stronger than they ever imagined. Sometimes late at night, I think about that dinner, that badge, that moment when everything changed. And I'm grateful. Because it showed me the truth. It forced me to stop hoping my children would change and start protecting myself instead. They wanted to erase me. Instead, they unleashed me. They wanted to steal my legacy. Instead, they freed me to build a new one. They wanted to break me. Instead, they revealed just how unbreakable I really was. I'm Evelyn Ruth Montgomery. I'm 72 years old. I survived poverty, racism, widowhood, and betrayal. I built wealth from nothing. I raised children who forgot where they came from. And when they tried to destroy me, I rose up and reminded them exactly who I was. I'm not a limited guest in my own life. Not anymore. Not ever again. I'm the woman who wrote her own ending, and it's a happy one. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and feel free to share your story in the comments. Your voice matters.